こうやって会ったのはその時と雰囲気違うけど。殺すやがうるさいさっきお前の怒りが伝わってきた。理由は知らねえけど、お前もあいつのこと倒してんだろ。本当はもっと早くこうやってお前と向き合わなきゃいけなかったんだと思う。これからそうしたい。だから力を貸してくれ、頼む。
いいだろ。悪魔の真の力を分けてやる。ただ今のままじゃ無理だ。それ相応の代価が必要だ。
代価？
お前の体の一部をもらおう。悪魔の取引ってやつだな。それでもいい。
Like a flower underground, like a flower from underground.
You live in a different world.
What's good, YouTube? Phobia here, and welcome back to another video. Now, this is something I never thought I'd be talking about on my channel. It's got something to do with anime. Yeah, it's about one of them that I actually do like. Fucking Black Clover. Honestly, to me, I just got to read some of the manga chapters, and the two most recent ones have been a bit of a disappointment. Personally, I thought it would have went out better if they ended at 328 instead of 330, and with that, Asta and Liba would have took down Lucifero, and then like things would have played out a little differently. Now, I can't say like exactly what I would have wanted, because I don't even know if it'd be good myself, but I don't think it should have dragged for like 329 to 330 to show that teamwork actually gets you to the goal. Basically, I thought it would have been better if it ended at 328 instead of 330. But I still like the series as a whole. That won't keep me from disliking it any bit, because it's just 2 chapters, and it's also like that arc was just the beginning of that saga, like, if you do understand what I'm saying. But I'm kind of making this video to bring up the overwhelming amount of hate that Black Clover has been getting recently. It's like people expect too much out of it, to be honest. The main thing that gets brought up a lot is like they say the author doesn't like to kill off his characters, and I'm not much of a writer, so I can't really like say he's right or he's wrong or he should kill off somebody at least. But to the way I see it, why does it fucking matter like if he kills anybody off? Because the thing is, the people that are complaining are the people that never liked Black Clover in the first place. They say like they don't have stakes, while the anime that they like does have stakes. It just doesn't fucking matter, because it's not the same anime. Everybody's not going for the same like thing. So you have people like who like MHA that say, at least our characters, some of our characters get killed. Like the thing is, it's crazy though. The thing is, there are people that actually die in Black Clover. It's just when you start to naming them, they say shit like, I'm gonna give an example. So, Xenon, irrelevant. Who the hell is that? Like, no, dumbass. He was one of the main villains. It was fucking stupid, because they just like, they say shit, they be like, they don't kill off characters. They actually do kill off characters, but they say it has nothing to do with the plot. Alright, so when I saw people bringing up like the topic about like them not killing off characters, I'm pretty sure they were talking about like not killing off good characters, as in like characters on the protagonist side, like anybody from the Black Bulls, or basically anybody that's just got a name or something, because the people that were killed off on the good side were so-called irrelevant. And the reason they said that was for so-called character development for Asta or Yuno or anybody on that side. And to that, honestly, I say you really don't need to kill off characters for better character development for the MC or for like anybody else. Because like it doesn't always have to be killing somebody off. Like, I get that it impacts the story or it impacts the character or the writing, but it doesn't always have to be killing off. It just really depends on Tabata's style. I think he's just like, I wouldn't say innocent. I don't really know him like that. I wouldn't say, but I'd say from what he's writing and his meetings and stuff, all that shit, the way he talks, he seems like a pretty innocent person. So even in his work, it doesn't seem like he'd just kill anybody off. And when I said, like, you don't really need to kill nobody off, you can do stuff like injure somebody or harm somebody. Like in the chapter, Yami's heart isn't his heart anymore. He has the heart of a devil. Or like, that's kind of like, that's something nobody knows yet, but that's one thing. There were arcs before where I'd say like Asta lost his arms and the entire squad had found out. They seen him sitting by himself because they thought he was just chilling, but nah, he was like, nah, I'm gonna keep going. This ain't gonna stop me. And that speech that he gave in that arc, that gave the entire Black Bulls character development. It's just the fact that like people don't remember or care about stuff like that because it's not like, because like I said, they're not really Black Clover fans. Like, they don't care about what actually happens in the series. They just care about what's being put in their faces, which is the recent chapter. They don't know about like stuff that's happened before, like how Asta's had development from, I'd say, beating up one of the elves because he had a good talk with one of the elves. The Black Bulls getting development from when Asta lost his arms. That's other ways without having to kill off characters. It's just the style and how he writes, or like how he writes the characters, or how he writes the storyline. And on the note of like killing off characters, the thing is, people were getting it mixed up as like a war arc instead of a rescue arc. When, since it's the beginning of the saga, they had to save William and Yami, so that makes it a rescue retrieval arc. And there's other famous arcs that pretty much go through the same thing where they don't really need to kill off characters. Like, not even on the bad side, but mainly they don't kill off anybody from the good side. But I will say, like, you do see like major injuries that do impact the characters. So it is pretty different the way they do the character development. But it's just an excuse to hate on Black Clover. It's like, it just sucks to see, to be honest. I think that's the case because it's a new gen anime. Because Black Clover isn't the only anime that gets hate. Like, I know the way I sound, I make it seem like that. But of course, My Hero gets hate. I actually really like My Hero, but it gets hate because of stuff that the fandom does, and that's not fair. Jujutsu Kaisen gets hate because of coincidences. Like, they say they steal from Naruto or they steal from Bleach, and it's not really stealing. It's really just inspiration. Like, I can't really say anything else besides inspiration because it's not something I really look into. I just really enjoy Jujutsu Kaisen, and I still see it get hate. Basically, Black Clover is what they call like the shonen anime. And what I know about like shonen is it's a manga or anime that's basically targeted to like younger males, to get like the younger male audience to watch or read. So these people that are trying to get these seinen like expectations, and seinen is like targeted for like adult males. So like they try to get adults to read seinen. So they trying to get these seinen expectations for Black Clover just because there are like a few other shonen that kill off characters. Like, it doesn't matter if it needs to correlate because it never did. It's kind of dumb, and they calling it family friendly and stuff just because they don't kill off characters, or like nobody has to deal with race. They say they have a problem with the healer healing people, like the healer isn't doing their fucking job. Like, that's what they're supposed to do anyways. It's just funny as hell. Because they also been saying, like, they don't even call it Black Clover. They call it Disney Clover. And it's like, some of those memes and fucking takes on Twitter or TikTok that I've been seeing, they actually been pretty funny. But when you come to find out that it's coming from people like MHA fans, Demon Slayer fans, and bitch ass let me stop. Boruto fans, it's just pretty insane. And then you got people from the big three, which is One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach, who have rescue arcs and retrieval arcs that have executed the same way, where they don't kill people, or like there are little to no stakes. Like, you could break it down, but it doesn't matter because they're not trying to be the same as them. they're not trying to like, they're just not trying to kill anybody off. Like, that's just what the writer wanted to write. The way I see it, I feel like he's just holding off because the truth is, it may have been the end of the arc, but it's the beginning of the saga. So the way I see it, it's just like, yeah, everyone's safe for now, but something's gonna happen later on in the line. That's kind of the way I see it. I guess like I just have to wait because I'm still enjoying the series. Like, I don't hate it at all. It's like great fights to read. There's decent writing. Like the writing was way better before, like an arc or two ago, like a saga ago, like in the Elf arc thing. But like, come on, they need to tighten the hell up. Cause like MHA fans, the same people that make that type of fan art, it's just disgusting. Like, cause they come out their little caves and start saying, MHA's always been better. Like, no, that's subjective, and two, even though it's opinion, Black Clover will always be better than MHA. Like, shut that shit up. And Demon Slayer, everybody knows that the anime is good, and that's what makes the manga better. It's the fucking anime. That's what got people to the manga in the first place. And we don't even need to bring up Boruto because they in their filler stage. They wait monthly for their chapters, so they don't have nothing else to do but call Black Clover Disney Clover. It's insane. And then the big three, they shit already done. They got time to complain about other stuff, other people's anime. It's just funny to me. Black Clover has over 300 chapters, and the people that complain about it are the people that never liked it in the first place. It's just weird because it makes it seem like they keep up with the chapters just as much as actual fans do. It's just obsession at its finest. And it's just funny to me. Every time I log on to TikTok, Twitter, even Instagram, I be seeing it on Instagram too. They made like an edit of like Asta as Mickey Mouse, like taking down the final boss or something. It was pretty funny. But all in all, I honestly don't believe Black Clover should get this much hate for being a shonen, because that's pretty much what shonen does. And then they compare it to like something like Fairy Tail, where basically 99% of the characters, they're just alive. Even the villains, like they only kill off one villain, and it's like in the worst way possible. And I don't see that as the same as how they took off like Lucifero, which is the final boss of that arc. I don't see it the same way, because with Fairy Tail, it was very blatant. And Agnolodia was actually one of my favorite villains, if not characters, in that series. And it's just, it was just cringe the way they took him out. Like, because they blatantly came out and said, we'll use the power of friendship. And it just, I was sad. It made me sick. And I don't see that. I just don't see it as the exact same thing as what happened in Black Clover's manga. I just don't, because it's not over. Like, it's like, yeah, you could say that he's dead, but his heart is still like active. You can't really say that it's over. You can't really say that's the end of it. Now, about stakes and consequences, honestly, that stuff really doesn't matter. That's just the style that he writes in. That's the way he writes. So that's just something that you gotta either deal with or just drop. Because what I say is, if you've never liked it in the first place, why are you worried about it? Just drop it. Just read something better. A manga that I actually do think is better than Black Clover right now. Well, actually a little while. It's been a little while. It was Jujutsu Kaisen and Kaiju number 8. Those two are actually fire as hell. I'm catching up to those like pretty decently. I actually really love those. It's like newer manga. But yeah, that's like the whole thing. People spent the last week and a half, because this finna go on for the rest of the week until a new chapter come out. People have been going on calling it Disney Clover or family-friendly manga, or like you can read this with your parents because nothing bad happens or no one dies. Like, okay, it's an anime. Like, chill out. You want people to die so bad? Go read Berserk or something. Like, that's good. Like, that's fire. It's because it sounds like you expecting a lot out of a shonen. Like, you want seinen expectations from a shonen. You just not, like, it just doesn't correlate. And that's what people don't get. They'll type out this stuff on the internet and it just doesn't make sense. They're expecting too much out of it. because it's not even a super complicated series to be having all these high expectations for it. And then with that, they have expectations for it, and they'll be like, I never liked it to begin with. It's just disappointing. Anyways, bro, if you ain't like Black Clover in the first place, just stop reading it, because I'm not saying it's gonna be the same. It's just you just dragging yourself, because you making it seem like you wasting your time reading or watching what you think is a bad anime or manga. We could just like read something better, like Jujutsu Kaisen. MHA looks great. That looks good to read. I actually started reading it myself because I caught up with the anime. Other than that, I don't really got nothing else to say besides the fact that Demon Slayer fans and Boruto fans shouldn't be fucking talking. Black Clover will always be better than those two. I'm just saying. Demon Slayer got the animation, and that's why I really like the anime and not the manga. But other than that, yeah, they need to like hop off, basically. That's all I had to say. I'll see y'all in the next video. Later.